and thank you for joining us this afternoon at the Blue Light Comms Hub. I know there's probably quite a few of you who have joined us before on the webinars that we've done, so welcome back if you have. If you are joining us for the first time, then I'll just give you a little bit of a background to the Blue Light Comms Hub. My name is James and I run a communications consultancy called Turn the Page. And my background is Blue Light Comms, working for several years in the fire service and also Local Resilience Forum deputy chair during a lot of that time as well. And I have since gone on to work on lots of campaigns for blue light agencies, working at a previous creative agency and now subsequently as Turn the Page. And the Blue Light Comms Hub is a collaboration with Can Digital, who are the public sector advertising specialists, and they've run more than 3,000 campaigns across the public sector, and campaigns that have influenced and changed behaviours. And the Blue Light Hub has been specially set up for you, the Blue Light comms professionals out there, and all your local resilience forum comms partners in local authorities and health and beyond as well. It's a completely free online community for you and your colleagues for sharing and learning and hopefully helping to achieve better outcomes for your campaigns and comms as well. And as I mentioned, we have run a series of webinars earlier this year on topics such as flooding preparedness. So you can find those and catch up on those on the link on the screen. And you can also register there for future updates if you're not registered already as well. So that's just a bit of background to the Blue Light Comms Hub. But today's webinar is going to focus particularly on community preparedness and resilience, and particularly in relation to adverse weather, which is something that we've been talking to quite a number of you about. And I'm really glad that very shortly I'll be introducing and we'll be hearing from one of our partners at the Blue Light Comms Hub, Letterbox Distribution. They are specialists in delivering direct mail, which, as we will outline in a minute, is a really crucial part of our preparedness comms mix. So Jack will be giving you a first peek at a new digital targeting tool which they're developing and allowing you to input into the development of that, which is very exciting. So we'll introduce Jack shortly, but despite the amazing summer that we've all been having, we know that as we head into the autumn, the first storms and the warnings are on their way. And in fact, we've had a couple already. So it was interesting to see that this government resilience action plan, which was published in July, in particular, the way it kind of challenges local resilience forums to do more and think differently about the way we do preparedness. And we know that as communicators, the role that warning informing plays in that, and particularly we want to focus on the warning part of that today. So one question we need to ask ourselves is, as organisations and as local resilience forums, is how well prepared are we, and could we be preparing and responding more effectively? And then the other questions off the back of that really to add are we reaching the right people with the right information? And are we able to measure and show how resilient our communities are becoming? So having worked with lots of blue light agencies and local resilience forum partners on a wide range of campaigns, we've seen and tested what has the greatest impact. And sadly, we still see that too many campaigns are weighted in favour of things that are expensive, untargeted, not measurable, and therefore hard to quantify and show impact. And what we want to do is flip this around, flip it into only using techniques and channels that deliver minimal waste and can show real impact. So the three principles that kind of underlie all of that approach are, yes, being as inclusive as we can possibly be, ensuring we're reaching almost 100%, if not 100% of the target audience with a mix of channels and making them accessible. Trying to drive towards reducing waste, reducing the cost per outcome and making it really, really good value for money, and ensuring that everything is measurable, being able to show the impact, being able to show the outcomes. So in looking, through all of those campaigns and seeing what does work and what doesn't work, some of the areas that we've identified that just aren't, useful for the type of comms and campaigns that we want to do. Certain paid digital channels, such as TikTok, X, LinkedIn, Nextdoor, just don't provide either the reach or the targeting that we need, or are very expensive channels to use. There are also then the other paid channels, channels such as radio, TV, expensive out of home. Again, can be very expensive, can spend a lot of money on them, but very hard to actually find what a cost per outcome is. And again, the targeting of those as well. And organic social, we know, cannot reach, the level of people and the percentage of people that we really need to reach, and the interaction is low. So we know that those are the sort of channels that aren't really working. However, on the flip side, what does work? What is providing value? What is driving outcomes? Well, paid digital in the form of search, targeting news sites, channels like Snapchat in particular, obviously for younger audiences, and Meta, are good value, outcomes-led channels from the paid digital side of things. Direct mail, bridging that digital divide, being able to reach people who are kind of grudgingly digital, and particularly in low income areas as well. Direct mail is a really crucial part of the mix. And then there is a huge amount of media that's owned by local authorities, but also other agencies as well. Out of home channels that are owned by local authorities, your digital estate, your newsletters, your websites, all free, potentially free advertising areas and potentially free advertising vehicles that we can make good use of as well. So in terms of that recommended channel mix, it's a mix of, yes, some paid digital, some of those specific channels that we've mentioned, but bringing in that owned estate as well, that free owned estate that we can maximize, and the direct mail as well to help us bridge that digital divide, which is so important. And so it's at that point that, yes, I would like to introduce Letterbox and our guest today, Jack from Letterbox. Now, one of the things that we talk about when it comes to emergency preparedness and response is a single source of truth, a central place that we can direct residents to for clear information. And Letterbox are currently developing a way to tailor information so it is only relevant to someone in their individual property. So they are only hearing what they need to hear. Now, this could be a really brilliant development in terms of how we equip residents for preparedness and resilience and crisis comms. And Letterbox are really keen to receive the input and the thoughts of the people at the sharp end, communications responders like yourselves, to help them design this product. Now, you don't get that type of input with Meta and Google, do you? So what we're going to do is I'm going to hand over to Jack. We'll cover your questions and thoughts about the platform and what Jack has to say after Jack's spoken. But please use the chat function to share your thoughts and questions as he's talking, and then we will come back to them at the end. We are just going to stop the recording of the webinar at this point, as the product that Jack's about to show is still in development. So if you are watching us on catch up, then please do get in touch with us to find out any more about the platform and ask your questions.